I'm Cristian Mitchell of MVP 360 Sports, and I want to welcome you guys into week 2 of this summer-long adventure. This week, I'm in Melbourne, Florida at Patrick Space Force Base, here just minutes away from Cocoa Beach. It's beautiful. We have a flag football camp going on all week, and this episode will feature an interview with former NFL player as well as Survivor star Brandon Cottom. So stay tuned. It should be a good one.
This week's Monday through Friday MVP 360 Sports Camp will be covering flag football from skills and drills to pointers to a couple scrimmage games. It should be a great time for the kids.
And go!
Right here, right here.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! All the way! Yes, sir! Hey! Hey! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! They're not gonna celebrate. Hey! Hey!
In this clip, after a wall sit competition, us coaches were forced to do 30 push-ups by the campers, and here's us. You can see one of the kids standing over, and one of the other kids hopped in with us as we bang out these 30 push-ups.
going on, guys? I'm Cristian Mitchell of MVP 360 Sports alongside by Brandon Cottom. This is the Brandon Cottom Interview, one of the biggest interviews I've ever done. So, Brandon, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Brandon Cottom. At Purdue University, played football there. After that, played for the Seahawks for a couple of years. Also was on Survivor 44, if you've ever seen that show, reality television show on CBS. So, a little bit of everything, good stuff.
All right, we're going to go back, to your beginning days. So, starting with Purdue, what was your recruiting process like, and how did you end up at Purdue based on your other offers?
Yeah, so I was pretty heavily recruited coming out of high school. All recruiting visits are kind of the same. They bring you out, they show you the campus, show you the facilities and everything like that. I had about 30 offers coming out of high school, but what kind of sold me on Purdue was the fact that they had a flight program as well. I was really into flying. I always said I either want to be a pilot or I want to be in the NFL. So Purdue was like that good happy medium of Big Ten football, but also one of the best flight programs in the nation.
Okay, I got that. Yeah, a Power 5 program that aligns with your goals. That makes complete sense. And I want to go into a little bit of you mentioned you were at the Seattle Seahawks, kind of just the day-to-day of an NFL football team, being on that team, as well as like what your favorite memory was being a part of a team of that caliber, especially during that time frame.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that the day-to-day is just the grind, especially as somebody who's an undrafted free agent. It's really about, staying there, staying healthy, a lot of soft tissue work, a lot of massages, a lot of off the field things that a lot of people, you might not do so much in college, but it's very important to take care of your body in the pros because obviously your body is your business. And then, the best part of being on that team was honestly just a locker room. We had some great vets. I learned a lot from Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner, Marshawn Lynch. I was in there with all those guys. So just being able to learn what it means to be a pro from them, as well as the proper way to approach the game is really what I value the most of it.
I got you. Do you have any favorite memory of Purdue specifically, the time that you were there?
Yeah, so I think my favorite memory of Purdue was my freshman year. We had beat Ohio State. They were ranked. I forget what they were ranked, but they were ranked. We weren't supposed to be even close to that game, being close to being in that game. But we beat them. All the fans stormed the field. It was a crazy night. I mean, we had a great time. So that's probably definitely my number one memory after this.
Of course, yeah. I'm pretty sure I remember that game. They were ranked at least 2 or 3, something really high.
They were up there. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I do know we weren't supposed to be in that game. But,
yeah,
we gave Ohio State props that beat.
I'm sure that was a crazy story, whether it's from the locker room to just the team meetings going into that game, and especially afterwards. But we're going to go into a little bit of your Survivor background, as that's a pretty well-known show on national television every week. Yeah. And honestly, I just want to, how did you get onto Survivor? Like, what was that, application process and the first few days there? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so the application process is pretty rigorous. Honestly, I was watching my pops, and he was like, you know what, they have an ad that plays at the end of every episode. This could be you. And that was my dad. He's like, yo, just put in an application. So I was like, all right, put in an application. They asked me to make a video, and I think 2 or 3 days later, I got a response from them like, yo, we want you to make another video. So once I did that, then I was kind of thrust into the process, which has to do a lot of meeting with Jeff Probst, who's the executive producer, meeting with a lot of the casting directors, and just they want to hear you talk, they want to hear you tell your story, and see who you are as a person. Because a lot of times you see people casting videos, they just kind of portray what they think the show is looking for.
For
sure. At the end of the day, when you're on an island, especially excluded from everything, away from your comfort zone, you really who you are. So. It's pretty intense on, trying to make sure you are who you say you are, and that you can also, handle yourself in those situations.
I got you. A little bit of a follow-up question is, there's a lot of downtime on that island, especially between recordings, between challenges, all that. So it's like, without your phone, without access to the outside of social media, what did you find yourself doing the most?
I mean, honestly, just connecting with each other. It's funny, we say, you'll learn more about somebody out there and get closer to somebody in 3 days than you might with somebody who's known for your whole life. Just being stripped of literally everything, it bonds you in a way, and you really get into some of those deeper conversations that, it's taken away by our phones, laptops, whatever else we have going on in our day-to-day lives. So just really, the camaraderie of meeting the people out there and really getting to know them and their stories, that was one of the big things we did all the time.
For sure. And you mentioned your dad. Was he a main kind of inspiration to getting on Survivor, or was that something that you personally wanted to do?
Yeah, he was definitely an inspiration to that. I mean, it was a show that we would watch when I was a kid growing up. And it was like that was kind of one of our bonding experiences. You know what I mean? So once I kind of moved back around Philly, started watching it with him again. He was like, you know what, you could do it. I'm sure you do very well. So go for it. And I was like, all right, let's try it. And, next thing you know, I'm on the show. So kind of worked out how I think it was supposed to work out.
For sure, that's a crazy, once in a lifetime opportunity, and that want to kind of use that as a connection along with your athletic background, obviously, to MVP 360 this summer, and obviously you've worked here previous summers. Really just want to ask, what has led you to, obviously being out in retirement and everything, you don't have to do anything like this. Yeah. So why do you come out here with MVP 360 every summer and teach these kids?
I mean, honestly, I just love being around the kids. I love coaching the kids. I love giving back. And then also you get to travel a little bit while we do it. So, going to these beautiful places right out here in, Melbourne, Beach, Florida. It's dope to really be able to, do what you love, but at the same time have a good time doing it. So that's the biggest thing, really getting back to the kids and then getting to see them on a day-to-day and learning a lot about them and, teaching them about the sport, because a lot of these kids, they haven't had the exposure. They haven't really had some of these, organized activities, especially since COVID happened. So being able to kind of bring that to them and teach them at, whatever level that they're at, that's the most beautiful part about it.
For sure. I want to thank you, for sitting down. We had a great week this week. It's been a great week here at Patrick Space Force, more specifically in Melbourne, Florida. I want to thank you guys for joining us along our trip, and we'll be in Washington, D.C. not next week, the following week. More content will be coming at you soon. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.